I think we're about to get some massive Insidious 5 news. Let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Name it.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing now.
Oh, Lord on the beast!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes dead is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we have a kind of a big update on Insidious 5. There has been really not too much word about it, but besides Patrick Wilson, the new director of the upcoming 5th installment in this beloved horror franchise, putting out a tweet saying, hey, I can't wait to make this. That's literally been like the only news since like 2020. Today, we kind of have a little more news talking about this 5th film and getting it started with production finally. It was announced in 2020. Come on, give us something. Start working on the project, guys. I can't wait any longer. I'm going crazy. My head's gonna explode here. Now, before I get into this update, I'm gonna need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. So getting into this update, director James Wan, who of course was the director of the first 2 Insidious flicks and one of the creators of this franchise, put out a post talking about how 11 years ago, the original Insidious was put into theaters on April 1st of 2011. Now, he also goes on to talk about like just this amazing behind the scenes stuff, and he also released a bunch of never before seen pictures that I'm sure I will be using in the thumbnail from the original, like the filming of the original movie. And wow, there was some really cool stuff there. I highly recommend you go check out that post over on his like Instagram, Facebook. If you just look up Creepy Puppet or James Wan, you can follow him there. It's just a wonderful post. He tells a lot of great stories, but the most interesting thing about it is that at the very ending, he leaves a little note to us viewers, for us excited fans for the 5th installment, and says this. James Wan said in his post at the end, and so here we are 11 years later, our little movie has become a popular horror franchise, and Patrick Wilson is about to travel back into the further with Insidious 5. Long live the further. Now, that's really interesting that he would put out that at the very ending of the post. It makes you think, okay, maybe that's Patrick Wilson's next project. Maybe they're starting to get going on that in the production of this 5th film, finally. And to add to that, Patrick Wilson even leaves a comment on the post saying, "It will live, thank you," with the red-faced demon emoji. Now, obviously, that's not an emoji that represents the Insidious character. I believe it's based off of like some kind of Japanese folklore or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what that emoji is. I don't know emoji lore all that well, but it does resemble what the red-faced demon in Insidious kind of looks like a little bit. So that's probably why he put it there. And I actually have used the emoji before in the past as well to represent the lipstick demon. So my thinking though, with this comment, with this thing right at the end of James Wan's post, not only do I think that this movie is going to be going into pre-production sometime soon, or like actually starting the filming process, I think that this movie, once again, I want to drive this fact home, is that I really think this movie is going to go back to having that original demon at the forefront of this film. It's always been teased in the other sequels, like in 2, 3, and 4, there's always been some kind of noise at the end that was like very similar to the red faces demon's noises. That Foley of what kind of sounds like a stick breaking or whatever is heard at the very ending of Insidious Chapter 2, when we have this character who is presumably haunted by the same entity Dalton was trying to get possessed by in the original film. Now, it gets a little more egregious in the sequels, which I actually really appreciate. Like at the very ending of 3, we get this jump scare, and at the ending of the Insidious The Last Key, we get an even crazier jump scare. And wow, both of them are very effective. They got me both times. I didn't think they would do it for both movies. Both of the prequel movies have this jump scare with the character, and it's awesome. I actually really enjoy all of the Insidious sequels as well. I want to throw that out there. I know The Last Key got a lot of flack when it came out, just because it has some weaker moments, which I can't even argue with. There is some weird character stuff throughout that movie that they were trying to set up, but I think a lot of that is going to come into 5 and play a massive key role. For example, Elise's like niece, she has like 2 nieces, and one of them can also astral project and can go into the further, and she kind of essentially has Elise's powers. I feel like she's going to play a massive role in this next film. Specs and Tucker might recruit her to help out, to go against the red-faced demon. Maybe Dalton and the Lambert family are once again having problems with this. I had even expressed how maybe in this next film, It's already been confirmed that Dalton's going to be going to college, and it's going to be a long time since all of that stuff happened in his childhood. How does all of it come back? Like, what's going to happen to make him astral project again and go into the further, unbeknownst to even remembering how to have that power? Because if you remember at the ending of it's Insidious Chapter 2, he kind of forgets how to use the power. So what's gonna restart that fire? I think the guy might smoke a little bit of the ganja and then might start astral projecting. Could you imagine if Insidious 5 is a stoner horror movie? I just think that would be awesome. And like, it makes sense too. If you're going to college, you're trying new things out. That's just it's a natural, easy course of life. Honestly, if I was writing Insidious 5, this is what I would write in. I think it would be interesting to see that struggle with a young character who maybe doesn't want to try out drugs and maybe is peer pressured into it. And then because of that, he is then transported to the further. It would almost be like this scary, like bad trip kind of aspect to Insidious that I think would be really interesting. You could add that element to it, and then essentially have the lipstick demon come back, waiting for Dalton in the further this entire time. How scary of an idea would that be? And then you could put him where it's like Dalton's in a coma again. It's like the whole situation just restarted from the original film, but doing it obviously very, very differently and having a lot of pieces of the puzzle all coming together in this like conclusion of the Insidious franchise. I don't know if this will be the last Insidious movie, but I could also see it being like the final chapter, being like the concluding chapter story of this entire franchise. Why? Because we just went through 2 movies where they were prequels. There's really not much you can do moving forward with the story except go back to the Lambert family. I see why Patrick Wilson wants to take this approach with the movies. You can't really do any more with Elise now that she's like literally she dies in the first movie, which is why I think 3 and 4 take place before the events of the first film. It just makes more sense. You can do a lot more with those characters, Specs and Tucker, with Elise. I totally understand why they went that route. And honestly, I really appreciate it. I think it's really interesting that they decided to do that and tell like these stories that kind of build up to the first one. I really like 3 and 4. They're really fun movies. I really enjoy them. I honestly could even use another one with Elise and Specs and Tucker going and fighting some crazy demon off in another some other situation in California. I just think that's cool. It's a really fun little story to me. I love both those movies. But with this movie, I really think it's going to be an amalgamation of all the things that have been set up in all the other films coming together for one crazy conclusive ending. There's a lot of lore set up in The Last Key, which is why I really appreciate it. I usually with franchises, I don't like when they start explaining things too much, but I like how The Last Key vaguely explains what's going on in the further. Vaguely. It's not in your face. It's just little like puzzle piece moments that if you're not paying attention, you'll completely miss. There's this line that comes from who I'm assuming is Keyface talking with a little girl's voice, where she says, or the entity says that he wants Elise to open all of the doors. And as we've seen in the past, behind those doors are a bunch of scary entities that want to come and possess your body. So my thinking is that something has to be accomplished for all these demons to come into the real world and start possessing people, meaning like all these doors have to get opened. Now, Keyface has 5 keys on his hand, and we've only seen 4 demons so far. So theoretically, that would lead me to believe that in this next film, there's going to be a 5th entity behind a 5th door that we have yet to see. Although I really want this film to focus on the red-faced demon, I'm also interested in seeing, like, what happens if all 5 of the doors get opened. This is just a theory that's not confirmed or anything like that. Like I said, I think that this movie is going to be grabbing from all of the other movies and building on top of what has already been established, which I think would be really interesting and really cool, especially for longtime fans of the franchise. But don't be surprised if this movie is just kind of very similar to the original, having the red-faced demon being at the forefront once again. I'm not going to be disappointed either way, any route they take, because another movie that focuses on that scary motherfucker, I'm all about. Holy shit. That thing scared the hell out of me the first time I saw Insidious when I was just a wee little squirt. Let me tell you. So, what do you guys think, though, about Insidious 5? Are you excited about this news? Did you read James Wan's post yesterday and just get hella excited like I did? Because, oh my god, I can't wait for this film. I really hope it comes out soon. I'm expecting probably an early 2023 release. I don't think these movies are, like, super crazy to make or anything, so we'll probably get it around this time next year. Although Scream does come out in late March, and we'll probably be running through April. So my guess was if they were to go into production right now, this would probably be like an August release in 2023. I could see if that's the case. Once again, not confirmed at this time, but from the comments on James Wan's recent post and what he actually included in the post about the new film makes me think that they're probably going into production for it sometime soon. They announced this thing back in 2020. They got to be doing something for it right now, is my guess. But what do you guys think? Leave me a comment about it down below. Thank you all so much for watching this new video on Insidious 5. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content and updates on Insidious 5. I'll be doing as many updates as possible on this film because I'm a massive fan of the franchise. Don't forget to support me on Patreon as well if you want to see this channel grow. The link for that is in the description below. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.